Hi, I am Blake Colie, and I am a drummer, percussionist, and composer, producer on the soundtrack of Sunken City. I play in a reggae group here in Southern California called the Lions. Ryan, the director, approached actually, I think, Shakespeare.
Well, you guys came up to me first, and we're talking about that you wanted to do some music for a film that you were doing.
We were asked to, do some songs that sounded like some King Tubby, some sounded like some Augustus Pablo, sounded like some Lee Perry.
All 30 songs were composed and recorded in like 30 days, so there wasn't too much time.
It's still, believe it or not, a new thing to use reggae as exclusively as a genre to be an entire soundtrack, but in particular, dub.
It doesn't usually have vocals in it, and if it does, it just has a little light bit, a little bit of chop. It's not only just a heartbeat music, it's like it's in your chest, but it's also very mental kind of music.
The dark elements of the vibe, if you will, of dub as a genre enhance these moments in the movie that are building suspense.
It would start from like a basic skeleton and just getting the right groove. Try to put the form together of like where it would go. Blake and Bill would fix certain parts of it.
Again, we all take part in all those different aspects of it in one way or another.
So that we all collectively came to an agreement that this is the arena of song X, and then we would go record the real-time parts.
Creating that vintage sound was perfect because it gives us this backdrop to the whole movie. So to bring a certain instrument in, it has to fit the right quality or the right vibe of the track. It has two outputs, so a lot of times I would use like a really dub sound up here and then a more like filtery wah sound down here. I have a 64 Fender Showman amp. 60 to 75% of all the guitars are recorded through that amp, and it sounds classic, from 64. As the movie goes through and there's more conflict, the music gets a little more intense. Even though there's still that fat beat that travels through the entire movie, kind of keeps the party going.
And there's a basic formula you take, but you try to over-formulate something that it loses the flavor. You're creating the vibe of the music with the sound that you're doing. In certain parts, you want to make the song unexpected.
To know that we didn't have to play it safe and that might be too much. It never ever was that. It was actually the opposite of it.
And I know anything that Blake does, he's a perfectionist, and that's why I'm always down to be any kind of creative environment with him. He was like, okay, I'm gonna do this movie, and we gotta do it real fast in a lot of songs. That's all I know, and I was like, let's do it. One of the words or something is gonna lead you into some kind of like meditative states. I try to really go in there deep, where it's kind of like, even if you're not listening to the whole perspective of it, it's gonna tell you a story. He's a police officer and he's going through different crime things. I was thinking about, the streets of most cities and the kind of like desperation that people feel on both sides. You're dealing with death and you're dealing with evil, but at the same time, the person who's policing that, they have to deal with just as much the same things.
With Nick's character to like reggae, we've met cats like that. I mean, maybe they're not a detective per se, but they're just like super low key and really easygoing, and it's very much a representation of the lifestyle out here, and most certainly a community like San Pedro.
First of all, you get a positive vibe from the movie. Like, you hear the music in the background and it makes you feel good.
Sometimes I'm in a more aggressive dancehall kind of mood, so Gun Play's a great song for that. Sometimes I'm smoking weed, so High Grade's a great song for that.
If you love art, you love music, you really, really go in and try to like understand what people are talking about.
We all are thinking progressively to want to take the music somewhere new, but also confidently call back from what's already been done.